Well, hello. Thank you for visiting SalarInc.com. In today's very brief online demonstration, we will be reviewing three of Salar's applications. Firstly, Team Notes, which is Salar's advanced physician clinical documentation system. Team Relay, which is Salar's physician handoff and sign-out tool. And lastly, Tap Charge Capture, which is Salar's physician professional service fee charge capture solution. So let's get started. What you see on the screen is Team Notes, Salar's physician clinical documentation tool. And I'll call your attention to a couple of things. Firstly, everything you see below the gray bar at the top of the screen with a variety of buttons. This is the electronic representation of a piece of paper. Now, it just so happens that this history and physical for patient Kenneth Alexander is a rather robust piece of e-paper. But I call your attention to this e-paper concept because forms within our system can be designed around any physician service and can be designed with as much or as little complexity as the physician service might like to have. So this is really a high-touch, highly tailored piece of documentation. Now, as I scroll through the form, you'll notice a variety of pieces of information have been pre-filled, and I'll jump back to that as we progress here in the demo. Let me jump back up to the top of the form. You'll notice if I click on the Sign Out button, we're going to immediately invoke Team Relay, which is Salar's handoff and sign-out tool. On the left-hand side, I can sort my patients based on either a select care team or based on my list of patients. And you'll notice at the top left, we have patient Kenneth Alexander, who is the same patient we were reviewing in that history and physical moments ago. You'll notice I have on the left-hand side my demographic information, my HPI, my medications list, my summary of plan, my summary and plan, and lastly a to-do or sign-out feature on the right-hand side. The way we view handoff and sign-out is a natural extension of the clinical documentation itself. It doesn't make very much sense to do your clinical documentation in one system only to grab select components from that documentation and re-document that into a handoff and sign-out sheet. Again, handoff and sign-out is an extension of the documentation itself. Now, when authoring your clinical notes, Salar believes that physician clinical documentation needs to be fast, easy, and efficient for the physicians to execute. And so we will allow physicians to document their notes in any way that is most comfortable for them. Those physicians who would like to design macros or canned text in any way, we will certainly support those physicians. You can obviously type directly into the platform. You can handwrite on the screen if you choose. Or any physicians who might like to use voice to text or speech recognition software, we can certainly work with that platform as well. Again, we want to meet any and all physicians on their levels as they choose to document their notes. Next, let's save time by eliminating steps. So it doesn't make much sense to review your medications list in one system only to turn around and redocument it in another. If we can grab an interface to a pharmacy system or an ambulatory EMR and grab this list of medications, we will do so, and then drop that on the note for the ease of the physician. Here in this Review of Systems section, I invoke this pop-up, and now we're able to construct notes in ways that make sense around the ways in which physicians think of their patients. So now I can only choose elements for this review of system that are relevant to this patient encounter and leave off components that are not relevant to this encounter. If I scroll a little further, you'll see lab data. This form has been designed to grab the last 24 hours worth of results, but if I choose, I can go and grab the last 3 days worth of results. I can trend this information, I can graph it, and I can drop this data onto my note as well. Similarly, let's grab a radiology report. And from this kidney scan, let's assume that I only wanted to include the impression from this report. So I'll highlight that and add that selected text to my note. Similarly, for microbiology or pathology or PACS images, again, if there's data from external systems that I want to grab and carry forward onto my notes, I can certainly do so. Here I have my active problems list. And at the bottom of my form, I have a mechanism for physicians to capture their levels of service. Salar was challenged by one of our physician users many years ago to help them by giving them a billing system where they didn't have to worry about their billing. And so what Team Notes has just done is to review what has been documented thus far, my history, my physical exam, my medical decision making. And doctor, based on what you've documented so far in your clinical note, we would suggest to you that you have a level 2 service. Now, if you'd like to go and backfill your note, perhaps you're a couple of elements shy in your review of systems to move from a level 2 to a level 3 service, you can certainly do that. But in this case, I'm simply going to add these codes to the note. You'll see these are the diagnostic codes embedded within the note thus far. Here's my 99222 level 2 care code. That will be routed to the physician billing system for them automatically. Here I trip off a PQRI quality survey, and so I can now ask the physician if they've discussed an advanced care plan with the patient. In this case, I'll say yes that I have. The additional 1.5% incentive payment will be included and routed to the physician billing system for them automatically. Now the survey is complete. I can sign off on this electronically, print off a copy on the unit floor if I like, and now I'm done. From the physician's perspective, again, they've signed off on their own piece of clinical documentation, their own e-form. Now you'll see on the screen is the physician charge capture tool, tap. And if I tap on the charges button, you'll notice that the screen has just refreshed. And let's assume for a moment that I'm no longer a physician, now I'm a biller. If I choose, I can download the PDF of that history and physical that we've just executed moments ago. And by clicking on the patient name, now I can actually review the charge that has been posted to this charge capture system. So here as a biller, if I need to, I can add modifiers or make other changes to the charge as has been routed to me thus far. Or, assuming that I'm satisfied with the charge as has been presented, I can ultimately pass this directly through the physician billing system. So what you see in this solution is more than just a documentation template. It's more than just an e-form. This is a workflow tool. This is a communications vehicle. And so with that, I thank you very much for your time. If you'd like to know more about Salar's products and services, I would invite you to click the Contact Us link above. And with that, I thank you very much, and I hope you have a good day.